Thanks, Tucker. Well, the latest twist to spiking candy could potentially turn this Halloween into a real fright night for parents and children. That's because there are concerns that pot-tainted candy could make its way into your children's trick-or-treat bags.
The problem is that some of these products look so similar to candy that's been on the market that we've eaten as children that there's really no way for a child or a parent or anybody, even an expert in the field, to tell you whether or not a product is infused.
Really? Well, that was actually a PSA from the Denver Police Department. So what should you be looking out for? Joining us now is parenting expert Erika Katz. Nice to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
All right, so this is really a concern? I mean, we've heard about these sort of myths of what will appear in children's Halloween candy going back to the 70s with all sorts of weird things popping in. We need to check our apples and things like that. But this seems to be concerning police.
Well, it's very concerning because the gummy bears that are laced with pot look like actual gummy bears. So if your child eats one, which they probably would eat 10, they could get very sick from it.
All right, I have a keen eye here, but my kids wouldn't see this. So I can see that the one on the right, it looks translucent, so you can see light through it. So that's probably not the pot gummy bear. The one on the left, screen left, is the pot gummy bear. That's hard to tell.
Well, the bigger concern to me is if a teen gives a gummy bear to another teen and they just eat it out of their hand, they don't know, thinking that it's real candy, that it could actually be a pot gummy bear. And then if they eat 10 or 15, think how sick they could get. It could be lethal.
Okay, so you brought some items in here.
Yes,
What are we looking at here?
So one of the things I like to tell parents, if you're going around with your younger ones and you're chaperoning, have them use a small little jar like this and then bring a bigger bag. So then when they go trick-or-treating and they take all that candy, you can then dump it into the bigger bag.
So here's the bigger bag.
Right. And then you have a lot of control because even if they want to eat candy as they're going house to house, you can take it out of the bag and hand it to them. And then you can make sure it's wrapped. So if it's something like a gummy bear, over here we have gummy bears that are wrapped. You know that those are safe. You just don't want them eating loose candy or going into someone's home, sticking their hand in a bowl, especially in a place like Colorado where they could have a bowl of candy.
Do people put this out anymore? Or haven't we learned our lesson?
New York City, they don't. But what if somebody's having a party at their house, an adult Halloween party? It could be there right on the counter.
With some candy corn. So some other tips that you provided with us this morning for kids. Make sure you tell your kids to wait until you eat candy when they get home, right?
Yes, you want them to eat the candy at home. Of course, that's not always so easy, so make sure you hand them the candy yourself so that it's wrapped. You also want candy that is from a manufacturer that you know. You don't want some strange manufacturer you've never heard of. Also, those twisty candies like the blow pops, you want to be careful of those because sometimes those can be opened.
What about homemade candies?
Definitely no homemade candies because you don't know what's in them. Plus, you don't know what's in their kitchen. If your child has food allergies, I would stay away from homemade candy.
So the family that used to make the popcorn balls down the street from us, avoid those?
Yeah, not cool.
Or the Rice Krispie treats?
I think that people would know by now not to have homemade treats, but it's amazing how year after year there's always some family that thinks they're going to be cool and make their own lollipops.
Right, or the family that hands out the grapes or raisins.
Yeah, the raisins.
Come on.
Or the toothbrushes.
Right, exactly. Erika, great to see you this morning.
Good to
Thanks so
see
much.
you. Thank you.
By the way, I don't see any Reese's Pieces in here. I think someone stole them.
I think they're at the bottom.
Did you take them?
Yes, delicious.
Punk. We'll be right back.